What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about some of the things that are a little bit good, a little bit bad, and of course, we got to talk about the fallout of some of the players that Juventus decided to snatch up in last summer's Mercado and what fallout that they're going to be receiving. Some of them may surprise me. Some of them probably aren't going to surprise you. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sovero. Today it's April 11th, 2023. It's a Tuesday. And of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus. If you could do me a solid favor real quick, go ahead, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, of course, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And then one other thing that I do want to go ahead and put out there, put a little bit of shine on it if you could, over here on the right side of your screen. If you could, go ahead and hit this link that's over here and go to our other channel that we're launching. But myself, some friends, it's called the Now We Can Talk Like Men podcast. It's a little bit of an inside joke, but you guys will be able to be inside and be a part of what we're doing here on the other channel. It's a podcast where we're going to talk about some other serious conversations, maybe stuff that's not as appropriate for the Bianconeri Zone and for a Juventus Space channel. We can spread it out a little bit, maybe talk some Marvel, maybe talk some politics, and maybe we'll stay away from politics. We'll see if we do politics, but we'll talk about a little bit more of a current events themes and also just some stuff that we want to, talk like men. So go ahead and do that right now. First 500 subscribers will be entered in to win a giveaway we're going to be doing on the channel, because it's not just Juventus based. Some of my friends are local stuff. So we're going to give away either a Juventus jersey if you're a Juventus fan, if you have signed up and subscribed on that channel, a Louisville jersey, or a Kentucky jersey if you want to as well. You guys get to pick whatever you want. But if you're subscribed to that channel, you'll be entered in to win that. So go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and hit that link in the description below as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Without any further ado, let's talk news. Let's talk Juve. Let's dive into it. Very first news of the day is, again, more positive vibes when it comes to our guy, Di Maria, and how Di Maria and his future with the club. Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting that Di Maria wants to stay even without the Champions League football, and soon there will be a meeting to try and close the deal. All right, that's good. Sign me up for that. I'll take a little bit of Di Maria as long as he stays healthy, as long as he continues to perform at a good pace for Juventus. Again, if they're not making UCL, we'll see what happens. I still have a little bit of faith or hope, if you will, that Juventus will find a way to get it done in the end. But for right now, Di Maria staying, that's a good news. Let's talk about the maybe not so good news and some of the more probably pressing, question what's going to be happening, what decision is going to be made. And a lot of that comes down to sacrifices. And one of the big sacrifices that may come down to is a Serbian player. You know him. Some of you probably love him. Some of you are a little bit disgruntled. Dusan Vlahovic, Gazzetta dello Sport reporting say that Juventus might need to make a sacrifice. Vlahovic could bring in a good offer from abroad and is no longer considered untouchable in the Juventus project. I can understand this if you need to make some money, if he's unhappy. I don't know what the whole situation is behind the curtain. It's easy. Words get parsed left and right. He's unhappy. He wants to stay here. He's good with no Champions League football. He has to have Champions League football. I don't know what I believe. Sometimes the almighty dollar is all that really makes any sense in the end. But for right now, for Juventus, if they want to move him on, if he decides to move on, it makes sense. Go try to make some money off of him. And then if we're being honest, we look at the stats, we look at how he's performed while playing in a Juventus jersey. It has not lived up to the Vlahovic we saw at Argentina, and not even the Vlahovic that we see playing for the Serbian national team. Whether you put that on Juventus players and the coaching style of Max Allegri, or if you put it on the player himself, I'll let you be the one to decide that. But for right now, the way it pans out is maybe you could see an upcoming season without Dusan Vlahovic at the helm, which is my personal opinion real quick. Because I know a lot of people, it's left side. I understand both sides, and I'm not trying to be a fence rider, right? I know there he goes riding the fence once again, but I can understand if he goes, I'm probably not going to be crying that much. Like, I'm not going to be upset. Like, as much as flack as I've given Cristiano Ronaldo did, at least from time to time, find ways to get his own goals. He only did that in the 2019-2020 season. After that, he kind of just quit. He quit on Juventus. I don't even know what he's doing. I heard there's some controversy in Saudi Arabia where he's playing. Don't care anymore. He's not even on my radar anymore. But at the same time, I kind of expected that same kind of gamesmanship from Vlahovic. I expected him to go and make his own goals, make his own shots. In a lot of instances, he hasn't. He's had, I think it was less shots inside the box or attempts inside the box than he had during 8 games playing for the Serbian national team, compared to his entire stretch at Juventus. So there's a little bit of that where I am a little bit perturbed, a little bit annoyed. Like, go out there, get your brick shit house, go get it done. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So at the same time, though, I completely understand. If they move on from him, there's other guys who will be able to step up and be able to play in those roles. One of those guys, though, is the guy we're going to talk about here next, is, of course, it's so funny to me because obviously if you're on the channel for very long, you know my opinion on Arkadiusz Milik, and it's changed drastically, obviously, because NL Sports reporting that Milik is on loan from Marseille and can be redeemed for 7 million euros by April 30th. The price is more than affordable, although it's not to be excluded that Juve want to reflect further and then return to dealing with the French beyond the pre-established deadline. So they may try to cut a deal. They may try to push things off. I don't know who else is coming to the door for Milik right now. Back then, it wasn't very high, but I've liked what I've seen from him since he joined Juventus. He was probably more reliable, I think, than Vlahovic was for a lot of the season. Whether he came back down to earth or not recently was yet to be seen. We'll see if he can get it back going. But for right now, I'm okay with retaining Milik, especially if you're going to have to rely a little bit more on him. It's just he's got to stay healthy. He's got to be healthy, especially if you're sending a guy like Dusan Vlahovic on the way out. Let's continue on, though, and let's talk about the other main story of the day. The big story, I will throw this with a grain of salt, though. A lot of people have said, or a lot of people look at this and say, okay, it's Gazzetta dello Sport who's coming out with this. How much can we believe? A lot of people like to drum up the drama. They love to drum up the drama, and they like to say, who's having drama? Juventus. That's the team that they want to say is always having drama. And let's go ahead and get into it, though, is that regarding Leandro Paredes and his establishment and his time here at Juventus, Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting that there's a tense moment between Allegri and Paredes in training. Leandro talked about his lack of playing time. He did not attend the team lunch for Juventus. So obviously, some bitter feelings, some bad feelings between the two, and especially I'm not sure I want to say unfounded by Leandro Paredes. I was not on board for the Leandro Paredes signing when they brought him in. I thought it was a waste of time and money for Juventus, and for all intents and purposes, it seems to be a waste of time and money for Juventus right now. But again, he barely made it on the pitch for most of the time he was out here, so I can understand his frustrations. Let me work myself back in there. Let me play myself into being retained by Juventus, and instead you're keeping me on the bench. So you're costing me long-term money. You're costing me long-term stability. I'm not happy with you, Max Allegri. That's what he's saying, and I completely understand it. We have kind of a little bit backing up of that, and sports media is reporting saying that yesterday's quarrel between Paredes and Max Allegri resulted from the many times the World Cup winner has been left on the bench and erased what little chance he had of staying. That's why he's mad. That's why there was an argument. That's why he's standing up for himself, saying, give me a shot. You bought me. You brought me in here. I left Paris to come here, and this is what I get. I kind of understand it. Do I think that he would have made a big difference? Am I a big proponent of him? No, not really. But if I'm seeing other guys get shots, why not give Paredes a little bit more time when you purchased him and you were, for all intents and purposes, agreeing to the purchase that happened during the summer? That's where I have an issue. All right. But if the club decide to go on, move Paredes out, go ahead and move another direction, where do they go from here? Well, we have some reports. Follow that up with Gazzetta dello Sport saying that Frattesi, obviously the player from Sassuolo, he remains a hot and increasingly concrete goal for the midfield for the club. I proponent him. I like what I've seen of Frattesi. Will it work out with a Max Allegri system? Will he work out long-term? That's yet to be seen. But of course, I love my Italian guys, and I'm going to shill for the Italian players. Zaniolo's coming back, damn it. Anyway, go on to say that not to mention the growth of Berenchea and the probable return to the Cannassa of Rovella, the protagonist of a positive season at Monza. These are the names to replace Leandro Paredes. So those are the guys that could come back. Obviously, Rovella, I'd like to see him come back regardless. He has been playing well. I think he's a solid player. I want to see him play for Juventus. Frattesi is probably my top option on there. But there's plenty of guys who could be filling in that role, which I would completely understand if you don't complete the purchase and you move on Paredes out of here and out of Turin. But that'll do it for this edition of the news, guys. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Do you agree with the fighting between Paredes and Allegri? Do you think he's got a point, or do you think also maybe you're not good enough, guy? I don't want to see you playing on the pitch for my team right now. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you, but them's the breaks. You still made a good paycheck. And then, of course, let me know your thoughts when it comes to Vlahovic and that whole situation and how that will continue to develop. If you're good, guys, do me a solid favor. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, stay notified for all of our latest videos. And once more, I want to remind you guys, go ahead and do the first 500 subscribers to our podcast channel over here. Now we can talk like men. Go over there in the link in the description down below. First 500 people that are logged in, subscribe to the channel. You guys are get locked in to be entered into for the giveaway on that channel, where we giving away a jersey of your choosing, Juventus, Louisville, Kentucky, whatever it is that you like. Make sure you check that out down for us. We'd appreciate it. All right, you guys can follow me at Justin Sofro if you feel so inclined on Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. You could also follow Bianconeri Zone at Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. So we'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri. Say hello to the old lady for me.